Let me pause this 2K. Oh.
What's up, y'all? This is Mike. I'm here with Hollister, Tyrone, and Menelik. Welcome back. It's been a long time. I know it's been a very, very, very long time. But like I said, I had some technical difficulties. My laptop was messed up, so I had to wait to get a new one. I got a brand new laptop from my job. Thank them for that. And we back on it. Now, as you can see behind Hollister, we are talking about the UFC fight that's in New York, our hometown, Madison Square Garden, the biggest arena, the most famous arena. All right. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan was in there, did his thing. Muhammad Ali, all the great fighters like Tyson, everybody was in there. So we have these three big fights tonight. We have Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. That's going to open up the main card. We have Rose Namajunas versus John Whaley. And we have Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman too. And I think it's going to be a hell of a night with all these fights, and they got a lot of other cool fights on the card that I'm looking forward to watching. So after this, obviously, I'm going to go find my way of watching them, and I'm going to watch the fights and enjoy them this evening. We're not going to really spend too much time because, like I said, I know like Tyrone's not really versed. I know Hollister, he knows some stuff, but not as versed as Melik and I. But just want to get y'all predictions on the fight. I'm going with, and I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm going with Justin Gaethje. I wouldn't be surprised by the channel if I'm going Justin Gaethje, I'm going Rose, and I'm going Kamaru. And I'm just going to go with Trevor Whitman's squad as far as them coming out there, putting on some crazy performances. I believe that all three fights might go to be a finish. Worst case scenario, I think, go to distance. But that's just my take on it. So then we can go Hollister, Melik, and Tyrone.
Yes, I'm rooting for Trevor Whitman as well too. Like he's coaching Gaethje, Rose, and Kamaru. So I'm rooting for them three as well too. But the Michael Chandler one and Gaethje, that one might be. I think that might be like the fight of the night. You know, Chandler's explosive, Gaethje's tough. I'm going for Gaethje, but you know, Michael Chandler, he's small, but he might come out of nowhere and get him. You know, he like to end his fights early, so I'm going with Gaethje. I won't be surprised if Chandler pull off an upset on that one. But Rose and John Whaley, I'm going with Rose again. I love Rose. She's just I love how she is as a champion, a fighter. She's always calm, respectful. She don't do all that trash talking. She just go out there and do her thing. And this clown in the main event, Colby Covington, I see Kamaru knocking him out. I would say probably, I wouldn't say early. I would say by round 3, I see him getting knocked out. And I ain't like the fact he all bring up Kamaru's father, talk about, oh, is he still in prison? Did he get out? Like, come on. Like, Kamaru going to wash him again. He might break his jaw again or do worse. But I got Kamaru, Rose, and Gaethje winning tonight. And I hope if that happens to get a clean sweep, I hope Trevor Whitman get like a bonus because he's coaching all three of them.
Yeah, I mean, he going to get a bonus because they're going to pay him. But I mean,
True.
They don't really give out bonuses for like the coaches. Yeah. But I think he should be coach of the year. To your point, definitely. And yeah. So
Menelik and sweep Trevor Whitman team.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So similar to y'all, I want each of the Whitman people to win. As far as the Gaethje and Chandler fight, similar. Y'all both kind of said stuff similar. Like I want Gaethje to win, but I could definitely see Chandler getting the win. I mean, Chandler, I feel like has a little bit more power. I think he got a little bit of like reach advantage and stuff. And also, Gaethje, after the Khabib fight, he lost a little bit of the luster. I mean, he's still good. And Khabib is a legend. And we know how Khabib is, especially on the ground. But I think I won't say exposed Gaethje in a sense, but it was very dominant the way he was on the ground with him. And I think Chandler might try to do a little bit of like wrestling to kind of throw Gaethje off. And he was a little more, not tentative, but in a sense tentative after the Khabib fight. Then he hasn't fought in like a year. So Chandler, he's been a little more active recently. So I could see Chandler win. I'm not counting Gaethje out because I ain't forget what he has done in the sport. And I want him to get the win, but I could see Chandler pulling that out. As far as Rose and Whaley, yeah, I mean, Rose kind of took a lot of that luster from Whaley. She was like just dominating, doing all this other stuff, and never was knocked out. She got knocked out for the first time, and I do think she is a little emotional and like angry from seeing certain stuff leading up to the fight. So I think that might play into it. And like Hossa was saying, Rose is just, she just has the right mentality and has been have a certain championship mindset. And I think she got what it takes to get the job done. And I think she also has the good coaching that'll help her in those spots because they had a good fight. Both fighters are good. But I think with the coaching and with Rose head probably being a little bit more in the game, I think she'll get it done. As far as Usman and Covington, yeah, I mean, in their first fight, Kamaru got the finish. That kind of started off Kamaru's couple finishes. He has improved the stand-up, which he showed against Masvidal and Burns. I know Burns is a little more of a ground guy, jiu-jitsu stuff, but, Usman's stand-up has improved, and they're both good wrestlers and can wrestle. So I don't see him being able to be taking advantage of him in that way. So I think Usman, with his, championship pedigree and everything going into the fight, the little comments about his dad, this, that, and the third. And, Kobe's a good fighter, but I think Usman is going to do what he needs to do and get that done. So, yeah.
I agree. Tyrone?
Yeah, Kobe's he's gonna get hurt badly tonight. I think Usman is gonna stop him again, maybe in second or third round. He's the best fighter in the world since John Jones is inactive. So I think this is a no-brainer. Usman's gonna win by TKO. That's all I got on it.
I mean, I agree. Just to touch on what Malik was saying, like, look, we're not taking nothing away from Kobe Covington. Kobe Covington is nice. When I first ever saw this guy, I thought he was super cringe because he was trying to do like that WWE stuff with his like antics. And like when he first came, like, yes, he was like looking all cheesy, but he developed some mic skills. I listened to his one of his press conferences before that, like earlier this week, and he was like going in on like Kamaru, obviously going in on like Dustin Poirier and cum shot Jemiah. Instead of calling him comes out, he called him cum shot Jemiah. He was just going in, and the stuff he was saying had me dying. It was disrespectful, but it was funny. He's like, I want to go to Swamp Trash, Dustin Poirier or something like that, and he's saying all this ever crap. But the man can fight. I don't never recall him knocking out anybody. But he has cardio for days. He has skills. I do think that Kamaru, with his new and improved boxing skills, has shown levels of improvement as far as like his technical skills, as far as like planting the shots the right way he needs to do it, staying behind that jab, utilizing his range and his strength. I think that Kamaru should have this one in the bag. I know they was talking like oh, he was doing roids or something like that. People were saying that, yada yada yada. As far as
they're
Kamaru,
trying to say because his father was like a pharmacist and like he got arrested and stuff. So they're trying to say, and then his brother was a doctor. So the people trying to say that all this stuff he got all the tools he would need
to cheat,
to juice and get away with it if he needed to. So people was trying to say that
exactly.
And like you were saying too, real quick with with their first fight too, Usman did end up getting to the body of Covington, which helped him a lot too. So he might try to do that as well. But yeah, you could continue. I was just throwing that in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? You only can do it with so much. I don't like the fact that Kobe was waiting for such a long time to fight. Kamaru was relatively active. He fought a lot and did his thing. I hope he's not looking past Kobe by talking about the Canelo Alvarez things and want to fight Canelo and all that other stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I know Canelo fights tonight, but we'll see what happens. I just really do hope that he does win. I'm trying to get out the fact that, getting kind of worried about people not winning their fights. It's like, I do want them to win, the Trevor Whitman crew, but if they don't win, they don't win. But I definitely want Kamaru to win and Rose. So we'll see what happens. All right, hold on. Okay, now switching gears, we're going to talk about Scottie Pippen real quick. As you guys know, Scottie Pippen was a member of the Bulls, one of the best teammates that Michael Jordan had, that he said out his own mouth, Michael Jordan. They won 6 championships together. And during the pandemic, what really saved a lot of us, was watching like The Last Dance, Tiger King and stuff like that, right? And The Last Dance was a documentary of the 98 Bulls season, all the trials and tribulation that they went through. And also, it was something to kind of like get the younger viewers, people who are not in our age group, who had never seen the magnificence of Michael Jordan, to really see his skill set, how he was as a player, as a teammate, as well as seeing some of the other guys and seeing how good that team was. Now, throughout that process, there were some things said and some things shown in regards to the team and teammates, some good, some bad. And Scottie Pippen took offense to that. Now, I kind of feel that Scottie Pippen is kind of being a little bit petty, but we'll get more into details with that, because all the stuff that was said about him that he didn't like, he said it. He confirmed it. Michael Jordan didn't come out and say these things. Michael Jordan had an opinion on it, but I feel there's a jealousy there. Now, we know Michael Jordan is always considered the greatest player, in the NBA ever. You know what I'm saying? He's a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? He's a businessman. Like, he did a lot for the sport. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know Pippen, even when he was a player, probably felt that he could beat Mike and he's better than Mike. And he felt that he had the important part. You do, but you're not Michael Jordan. And I feel that this whole book thing that he's doing and saying the stuff about Michael Jordan, him being selfish and all this other stuff like that, and all these other things, I feel it's in bad taste. I do feel that he just really at a stage right now where it's not looking good. I know he has a Good Morning America interview, you know what I'm saying, next week, but it's really disappointing to see, especially for the fact that I respect Scottie Pippen tremendously. And for him to do that, I think is just a slap in the face, not only to Mike, but it really is a bad look. So yeah, we'll go down the line. Malik, Hollister, and Tyrone.
Yeah, so as you were saying, man, it just sucks to see something like that. It's like two people that you grew up, watching, loving that kind of tandem, that partnership. And like you said, Jordan don't always he give praise, but he don't really be giving praise to like people like that. He's always made it clear that Pippen was valuable to him. And he even said, he wouldn't be Michael Jordan the way he was at without Scottie Pippen. Like, he showed Pippen a lot of love. And even like you said, even in The Last Dance, like, he had speaking parts. He was there to talk about the stuff. Like, he didn't have to agree to do it. Like, and granted, all right, some people might say, I don't know this, if he said anything like this. Sometimes they record a bunch of material, and when they edit it down, it could appear a certain way. I don't know if any of that kind of happened, but at the end of the day, you did do some of that stuff. You agreed to appear in it. You had talking parts, unlike some other people, and you confirmed a lot of the things, and you did what you did. Now, yeah, he might have felt like maybe it was not necessary for certain parts. He was saying, he felt like Jordan could be condescending in certain ways sometimes and things like that. And I'm like you said, maybe it is a little bit of jealousy there on some level, because or just looking back like, man, it was me and this guy. We did this together, and look where he at, and look where I'm at. Like you said, Jordan a billionaire. Jordan got this whole empire. He's an owner of a team. And Pippen ain't an owner of a team. He not even like Cohen. He ain't on the staff, or, he doing little things here. He was doing, certain interviews. He got this book thing. He got a bourbon coming out. He doing different things. And obviously throwing Jordan's name in there is going to grab headlines, going to bring attention. People talking about the book. They talking about the bourbon. Like, maybe people in his ear, like, yo, mention Jordan, do this, do that. So, to build up the buzz, or to make people care more in a certain way. And I know he might feel away too, because he did sacrifice a lot, right? And he probably looked back on it like, man, like, people don't really respect me in a certain way, and my legacy and my contributions. Because a lot of people do feel he's overrated. A lot of people think he underrated too, but some people do think he's overrated. So, it's just unfortunate to see. So, I mean, I hope, I guess, I don't know, because the way Jordan is, I was going to say, I hope they could, get back to a certain type of terms. But after Barkley did what he did, Jordan and Barkley not even friends. And they was mad tight for mad long. So I just feel like Scottie coming out publicly too. Yeah, just hit up MJ. I'm sure they probably let him see that joint before it aired. Or maybe, I feel like, or at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all should be able to talk. I feel like if somebody could speak to Michael Jordan about something, I feel like you might have to go through one or two people, because he Jordan, even if you Pippen, but you probably could have had that conversation instead of making it public. So it's just unfortunate to see. But yeah, that's what I got to say on it.
Yeah, it sucked, man. Like Malik said, two guys we grew up idolizing, like watching on a regular basis. Now to see them two going at it over some stuff, I'm sure that could be resolved over a conversation between the both of them. It's insane. But I also feel like too, like I know Pippen got a lot going on, the whole situation with his ex-wife and this and that is going on. So it could be a mixture of all kinds of things getting to him personally. And now the book. And I also feel like he's doing this too to promote his book. Like, people like, all right, oh, we hear Scottie Pippen got a book. Like, you want to hear, people love negativity. So they want to hear him throwing this person under the bus, this person under the bus. And of course, the main person they're going to look for him to throw under the bus is MJ, of course. And also, too, I heard him say on the interview recently, he was saying like how like Judge Bushler and some of the other guys didn't want to be a part of the Last Dance, and he was saying how some of them wasn't getting paid, this, that, and the third. I'm like, it's just a lot going on. But I'm sure before they sat down, they had a whole contract like, all right, this is what you're going to get XYZ for doing this, that, and third. But it's like, come on, like these are grown men. Like they could easily they can resolve all this between a drink and a cigar, a game of golf or something. But it's like, come on, the same thing like Malik said too with Barkley and Jordan. Like, I get it, yeah, you outgrow people, friendships don't always last. Some people break apart, but just bury the hatchet. Like, just have a sit down with MJ. I'm sure it's possible. Just have a sit down, clear the air, just keep it between y'all two and keep it moving. But it's like, come on, like y'all made history together, 6 championships, undefeated in the finals, like 2 of the best players ever. Like, come on, like it's sad to see though, but hopefully it gets resolved. But I'm sure it will at some point, but hopefully sooner than later, actually. But it just sucks, man.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, Tom, before you go, just to touch on something what Hollister said a few minutes ago. It's like, even regardless of the payment, this was filmed in '98. This was filmed years ago. So y'all already knew this was supposed to be a documentary. And to be honest with you, who knows? Who knows if Michael Jordan was the one who, like, yo, I'm paying to get it released.
I'm gonna get to that.
So all that stuff to me is like a little stuff, but go ahead, Tom. And then we'll just have like a open forum of like our opinions after. Go ahead.
All right. Let me get this out the way right now. I'm gonna get this out the way. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this out the way. Scottie Pippen, you guys already know how much I love Mike. Mike is the greatest ever. He's the reason why I watch basketball. The reason why, I like the Chicago Bulls. Until this day, I'm still loyal to the Bulls, even though 20 years he left the Bulls, blah, blah, blah. Scottie Pippen is and always will be my second favorite player of all time, no matter what happens between him and Mike. That ain't never changing. You can't change history like that. I'm gonna get that out the way first. He'll never be anything but second to me. But with this going on, I have to say, Scottie has had a lot of hard luck in the past few years in his life. In case people forgot, he lost his son in the spring. He's going through a lot. Okay, the situation was excellent. That's none of our business. We already know it. We know what's going on with the wife. That's a sad situation also, but the man lost his son. And when you lose a child, a person can act, like a person can act ways that they don't normally act. I'm not trying to say that it's all because of his son passing, because he was critical of The Last Dance before his son passed. But Scottie it does come off as being jealous. When they talk about MJ, they bring up Scottie afterwards. And I always thought he had a problem with that. Scottie has the attitude like, listen, I was a great player also, which he was. He was one of the greatest players of all time. He's not overrated in my book. He's definitely top 50, definitely top 75. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's top 10 small forward of all time. So he's definitely up there for me. There ain't no doubt about that on the court. The stuff with Mike, I don't think he understood that he wasn't Michael's equal. He was never Michael's equal. It's not like Shaq and Kobe, where Shaq and Kobe could battle to say who was equal. It wasn't that way. It was Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. It was never going to be anything different. And with The Last Dance, we all could keep it 100. When we heard about this documentary, people were saying the Jordan documentary. People were saying, people wanted to see it mainly because of Michael Jordan. No disrespect, because I love everybody on those championship teams, even Horace, even though Horace left and went to Orlando. I still love Horace. But it was about Mike. Like, people watched it because Mike was in it. If Mike wasn't doing the interviews and it was just the other players, the ratings wouldn't be as high as it was. So it was about Mike. It really was about Mike. Let's be real. He is right about one thing. It was more it was more made to talk about Mike a lot. And I think he earned that, to be honest with you. I think he earned it. And yes, like Michael said, the footage was from 1998. So for him to have an issue with certain things, I don't understand. This footage has been out for umpteen years. Well, hidden for umpteen years. You knew it was out. Also, Mike said too, a lot of the things that happened in The Last Dance that you are critical about are true. You sat out. It was you with 1.8 seconds that refused to stay in the game because the play wasn't drawn for you. And in your book also, you said Phil Jackson was racist because of that. It doesn't make a lot of things with Scottie don't make sense. It was also you in 1990 sitting with an ice pack on your head with a migraine headache in Game 7 against Detroit. The Bulls probably could have won that game. You never know. You also, and this was the biggest alarming one for me, and the one where I have to say, Scottie, you have no argument in this fight. When y'all won the 5th championship and you needed to get surgery, you had all off season to do it. You waited till close to training camp to do it and missed the first 3 months because you didn't want to F up your summer. And those were your words on The Last Dance. Those were your words. And you were upset because Michael said you were selfish. That was selfish. You signed a contract in 1992 for 5 years, $18 million, where Jerry Reinsdorf, who also on The Last Dance said it, he told you not to sign that contract because you're going to regret it. You were the 6th highest paid player on the team when you were winning the championships. Jerry Reinsdorf said, let's get back, let's revisit the contract in a year or two and I can get you some more money because I'm not going to renegotiate with you. He told them that, and Scottie still refused and still signed the contract. Now, I understood he had some family situations where he needed a little bit more money up front. So I understand that, but you could have also did a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal until you're able to, renegotiate and get a bigger contract, but you chose not to do that. And I can't say that you don't really have a reason to be upset with that one either. But the biggest thing to me was definitely that don't F up my summer. You were on the documentary saying that. You can't be upset about how a film portrayed you when your words live. Like, I can understand if it was right before the 97-98 season and you said that and they played footage of you saying that, I would be upset. But you said that live in 2020 during the sit down. That's not good, man. You can't come and say this, and this when these are your words on The Last Dance. So I don't know what it is with Scottie. Scottie was a great player, but he wasn't a franchise player. And I love me some Scottie. He wasn't. The time when Mike was out, the first year, the Bulls won 55 games. They went to the second round. There was a call made, and I remember this watching it live. There was a call made in Game 5 against him with Hubert Davis, where the Bulls could have went up 3-2. They probably would have played the Rockets in the finals without Mike. But that's another, whatever happened. Okay. The second year when Mike was out, we almost missed the playoffs. And Mike came back and got us back to the playoffs. And you were the one sitting on that chair, pointing at sneaker, the bottom of his sneaker with the Jordan logo saying, come back. So you can't hate
one of my
Mike.
favorite Jordans, by the way, the 10s.
Yeah. But you can't say he was this, and this, right? And then you're calling him back with the sneakers and stuff like that. Michael Jordan, every time, his very first thing, after he was crying his eyes out at the Hall of Fame, his first words was, when you mentioned Michael Jordan, you have to mention Scottie Pippen. You were the first person he thanked at the Hall of Fame. You were the first man, okay? In the Last Dance, the first few minutes, he brought up if there would be no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen. Here's another thing. Scottie's been saying this, and this, right, about him. Can someone tell me who presented Scottie Pippen at the Hall of Fame?
Michael Jordan.
That was Michael Jordan. So if you felt this way about him,
who got him on the dream team?
All these years. Listen, I'm a little biased towards that because I think Scottie earned it. I'm just being biased.
I'm not saying he didn't earn it. I'm just saying that, Michael Jordan, like, this my wingman. I need him.
I know.
But I mean, when you finish, I got some stuff to say on that. Go ahead.
But he was the one doing your Hall of Fame speech, right? He stood there. You call you if you hated him that much, and he was this, and this all this time, he wouldn't be the man you had stand up there in the Hall of Fame. It would have been Phil or Horace, you know. If he was that bad with Tony Kukoc, why did Tony Kukoc have him at his Hall of Fame speech? Because they're tight. And one more thing, because I could go on and on, but I don't want to take up too much time. You know, but I don't watch First Take anymore. I don't really like a lot of things that go on there, especially with Stephen A. Smith. He's like way over his head now. He's a big egotistical maniac. And I don't really care to criticize him on here. He's never gonna listen to us. He's too arrogant for that. So but when I heard this story came out, I wanted to listen to him talk. And he talked and he said one thing, because you guys, the three of y'all were talking about, oh, I hope they, fix this. He said something that now he said it and I believe it. They will never fix this relationship. Scottie Pippen did an interview. I don't know if it was a year ago or did recently, where he said one of his biggest regrets was he didn't give Michael Jordan condolences for his father's death. Stephen A. said that when he was talking to Michael said he didn't even realize that Scottie never gave him condolences for his father until he thought about it. And Stephen A. gave the cutthroat sign. He was like, the two of their relationship is over. He was doing that. Like, you could go back and look at it on YouTube. He said Michael didn't even, until he sat back and realized Scottie never acknowledged, the passing of his father. And it was almost like he said it in the interview as like he was throwing it in his face. I don't know what happened with Scottie, like what he is towards Michael. I don't understand it. He's gonna say, listen, you guys were in the locker room with me, with him, and blah, blah, blah. But like I just said, I gave you all of this stuff. Why is that man standing with you at the Hall of Fame? So, like I said at the beginning, Scottie will always be number 2 to me, but he really looks bad in this situation. And that thing with the father situation that Stephen A. brought up, I think there is no coming back from that, because that was Michael Jordan's best friend. And for you not to acknowledge that, that's pretty sad and disappointing. But I'm going to stop because I don't want to keep going on and on. Yeah. And I'm going to just give it to the rest of the panel.
No, I mean, you hit a lot of good things on the head. And honestly, like I want to start off by saying, like you said, we do understand that sometimes things in life, we all are going through stuff. We all going through some personal things that some of us know how to hide it better than others. And, it's very difficult. Like Scottie Pippen lost his son, like you said, young son. He lost his wife to cheating things, you know what I mean? And a lot of different things happen to Scottie Pippen. Now, this is stemming from, like we said, from jealousy. Now, it happens, you can have a good friend, real close friend, and just out of nowhere, that friend can just, start looking at things in a different light and start looking at you in a different light because they see your life and they see what's going on with you. And jealousy is a very dangerous thing, as well as envy and all that. They all fall under the same umbrella. And it's like, yo, he could see Mike, like, why everybody talking about Michael? Everybody giving him all these accolades in this Last Dance. Everybody talking about how good he is. What about me? Well, I was part of this team too. And why they saying I'm selfish? Oh, Michael was selfish. And it's like, yo, bro, like you said, Tom and Hollister and Menlik, you said that stuff out of your own mouth. You made it known that you didn't want to do that. Those acts that you did was selfish. And for him to do that, it's like little borderline jealousy, because think about it. When Mike was there, you already know if Mike was in there and that play would have been for Michael. He figured, all right, Mike's not here. I'm the best player on the team. It should be for me. And for Phil to go to Tony Kukoc, oh, that's racist. Why would you go to him? When then you know already how Mike and Scottie felt about Tony Kukoc's situation with the Dream Team. So you add that, he's like, if I'm the star player, I should get it. With the money situation, I get it. You know, you want that security. The basketball players, they back then were dreaming of the money these clowns getting today, and cats don't even have the skill set or talent as the players back then. And Scottie Pippen took the money for security. But like you said, Tyrone, the guy told him, like, look, you could have did a cheaper deal. Let's try to like renegotiate later. But Scottie said, I'm taking security over, you know, me getting the most money that I can. You can't get mad at that. That is a decision you made. You can't get mad also about people looking at you sideways for this injury. Like, yo, Mike is like, look, man, you talking about all this stuff like that. You decided to, you know, get the surgery right before training camp. And you know Michael Jordan really cares about him, because he even said, yo, man, there's no way if we would have kept the team together, you think I couldn't convince Scottie, my boy, to play one more year with us so we can go for 7? It's like he really did care about Scottie Pippen. And he out of all his other teammates, he only like really like making like he's on that level with him in a sense, where like that's one of his ride or die people. And you see all the different things might help make Scottie Pippen who he is. Michael Jordan was already a killer, great player, all that stuff. That Scottie Pippen did help Michael Jordan be more trustworthy as far as like trusting his teammates. But Michael Jordan helped make Scottie Pippen the player that he is. Not trying to say Scottie Pippen would not have elevated to that himself, but as helping him learn that winning mentality, that kind of tenacity, right? That's coming from working with Mike. And I feel that back to the friend thing is like sometimes they grow apart, you know what I mean? So now he want to make his book big. He want to show people that Michael Jordan was really the villain of this whole thing, and take away some of that shine because he feels a certain kind of way. Now, like you said, Tom, we don't know what happened in the locker room. We don't know what happened between them. But I know for based on what we heard, even when they were playing, that Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan were very close. You look at the picture of Michael Jordan freaking playing with the flu game, right? When he got food poisoned by them Utah fans, how Scottie Pippen was embracing them, carrying them back to the locker room, carrying back to the bench, all that other stuff like that. You see those type of things. So to me, it shows some level of significance to their relationship. And for Scottie Pippen to come out with this book to try to really like ring Michael and like drag him through the dirt, it just shows his character. And yes, we can give him a quote unquote pass in a sense because of what he's doing with grieving. But at the end of the day, no, because a lot of times people got to really be held accountable for the stuff that they're doing. And I think Scottie Pippen needs to be held accountable for the decisions he made in the past, the way it looked. You know what I'm saying? People just skate over that. It happened in 98. You've been there, done your stuff already. People more clowning you for your hair. People more clowning you for your wife situation with Future. You know what I'm saying? Forget about this old 98 thing. That's in the past. Like, y'all already done. Like, why would you want to say all these different things? Nobody's thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now you take back all the words you said about Mike, and you would never take LeBron over Mike and all this other stuff like that to say that in the next breath that Michael Jordan's only doing this because he want people to show that he's better than LeBron. It's like it's just a sad thing to see. And like Tom said, like Scottie Pippen's still gonna be one of the top players for me as far as like in history at all time. He is one of my favorite players, not the favorite player after Mike, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? He is up there. But at the end of the day, it really just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I feel that more people are looking at this situation as, yo, this is kind of sad, Scottie. Like you kind of going overboard with it. They're not really taking his side as he hoped. Whereas, I don't know. But yeah, y'all can go ahead. Whoever want to go and say.
Yeah. So yeah, like what y'all saying, man, it is sad. And like you said, definitely sympathetic to the fact he's dealing with a lot. And yeah, he probably lashing out and he don't know where to properly place it. Because at the end of the day, once again, right? We've heard other little things, even in the Last Dance, they alluded to it a little bit that not all of his teammates loved Mike unconditionally. He was a difficult person to sometimes be around for some of them, but they all acknowledged too, for the most part, that he pushed them to be better. And if you were able to be around him in that, you were better, right? And even with all that, it's like, once again, Jordan is always like, he don't really be giving people it like that. He's giving it to Scottie. So it's like, yes, could there have been other things that happened that, like I said, in a locker room that we don't know about? Certain other things. You mentioned the Dream Team thing. Certain other things. Jordan tried to bring Scottie with him a lot of the time. He bigged them up. And a better way to even go about this, like I said, like even Pippen, he had a talking role in The Last Dance. You were part of the thing. You could have tried to paint the narrative a certain way. You put it out there, and yes, now people are judging you for it, but you put it out there in your own words. Now, once again, I don't know if it was some editing situation where he feel he was misconstrued, but the way he said it on there, it don't seem like he was misconstrued, or he would feel like he's misconstrued. But once again, I'm not him. I don't know. But it's like you have an opportunity to do that, and not for nothing, right? You could have maybe tried to parlay some joint with Jordan, like do business with him to elevate yourself, right? He's a good person to know, I would assume, a good person to have as a friend. So, and like I said, you already had an end because of that bond y'all did with creating history and that dynasty together. So now you burnt this bridge pretty much, probably, because I didn't see the Stephen A. joint, but like Tyron was saying, if that is the case, and like I said, you saw the joint with Barkley and certain other things, right? You know, and Jordan has no real reason to go out of his way to try to mend it. You know what I mean? It's like, it would be nice, but he don't have to do it. So, so it's like, I could see it lingering, or maybe, and you know, with time, or maybe because of who Scottie is, or maybe if Jordan know what he going through, he could maybe give him a pass and be like, you know what, whatever, maybe not. But it's like, you could have parlayed that and to try to do something else. Even the buzz the whole team and everybody was getting from The Last Dance, you could have tried to use that to springboard certain stuff. I don't know if the plans were there like that. Your book could have came out around The Last Dance, maybe, or certain other things. There's other things you could have did. You could have maybe got, you know, Jordan to do something with you, you know, like this. I don't know. I just feel like he is probably hurt with a lot of things that's going on, and it's probably misplaced.
Yeah.
And one thing, and then you got people in his ear also probably feeding into it, like, yeah, man, people don't give you the proper credit. Jordan wouldn't be nothing without you. Oh, he's trying to play you, this, that, and the third. And once again, I'm not saying Jordan's a perfect person, a saint in every way, shape, or form. But once again, from the outside looking in, it seemed like Scottie was one of those people. He gave a lot of respect. He tried to build up, take with him, do a lot of things for him, with him, give him some game, talk to him about certain stuff. And like Tom said, you was the man also pointing at the sneaker. The man came, did your Hall of Fame. How many people he really out there doing, you know, going on stage with, doing this, doing that. So I just feel like it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, and then Melly, to your point real quick. Look at Luke Longley. Luke Longley had a documentary for himself, right? And Michael Jordan went and did a 30-minute interview on his behalf. And that's Luke Longley, right? You mean to tell me Michael Jordan want to help plug your book? You know, you wouldn't tell me that. And some people making a joke like, oh, he lost some of that Michael Jordan bread. Like maybe Michael Jordan might have pulled him from like the Nike sponsorship that he was giving them and stuff like that. Whatever, people making jokes about it, right? My thing was like, as far as like Scottie Pippen, but like you said, is like, bro, like everybody look at Michael Jordan as being the reason why the Bulls did their thing. Now you're a part of it. There's no iron team, but when it came down to those times, that game 6 in 98, it was Mike who won that game. 45 points. The time he had the flu, it was him scoring 38 points doing that. It's like, yo, you had your opportunity and you ain't do it. That's you. So you acting like this and you got to do this to sell a book? Come on, son, this is ridiculous.
His opportunity was game 3 in the 1994 Eastern Conference semifinals with 1.8 seconds. He could have been a game-winning assist. But he was mad because it wasn't the game-winning shot, and that's that right there is that will always live in infamy in his career. Not even the migraine. The migraine you can let that pass, but that asking out of a game, that's another
Bill
ball
Cartwright.
game.
Bill Cartwright,
And
crying.
it's not cool. Yeah, and I was gonna say even when that game joint, that might have been wilding out too, but. Stay in the game and don't do the play, if anything, and take the shot. Like, don't just sit out and give up on the team.
I'm glad he didn't do that, because then Pete Myers wouldn't have gave the ball to Tony to get that shot. So yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
It worked out the way it should have. But I'm just saying, you know, like at least that would have been a perception, because things like that happen. I think that happened one time where somebody drew up a play for Kyrie and LeBron was like, nah, and just took the shot. Or something like that. Yeah. So it's like, and I'm sure there's other examples too where people was like, nah, I got this joint. So it's like, at least do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Be a
But yeah.
decoy. Be a
That
team
is
player. Look at
true.
Michael Jordan. When Kerr came to him, hey Michael, I think they're W. If you pass me, I'm wide open, right? He gave the ball to Paxson to win a game. He gave it to Kerr to win a game.
Did you ever listen to his first?
Hmm.
Did you ever listen to the Dan Patrick video, the Dan Patrick radio? Because this is not his first rant on Mike. When he did the whole Phil Jackson racist thing, he basically said that when Mike was talking to Steve, Mike knew the camera was there, so he said that on purpose with the whole, if they double me, I'll give you the ball. He basically was saying Mike only said that because the cameras were right there.
So then why did Mike pass him the ball then?
Why did Mike pass him the ball? Exactly.
Yeah, I could say one thing, like Melik said, I could say it, and then when the game, I had a better shot on 3 people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like
the thing is, they really doubled.
Yeah. My thing with Scottie, man, he just trying to, he's grasping at straws right now. And
I still love you,
for
Scottie.
attention.
Yeah, always love Scottie.
I love you, Scottie, man. It's all right, man.
Like, look,
But this
go ahead. Like,
I was just saying he might need some therapy, but he crying out for help.
Yeah, he does. He needs help. I mean, look, man, that chick did him dirty. Now, look, a lot of these players did a lot of
son thing too.
We don't know their personal lives. Some guys messing with other people's wives. I know guys when they was out stepping out on their families, doing their thing. Like, we don't know what they do on their private life. That's their business. Like Tyron said earlier, that is their business. Unfortunately, Larsa, Pippen, whatever, she out there with Future and keeping the name Pippen, and he feels a certain kind of way, but he should have known better with his young wife. And most of these women out there, especially in that realm of basketball players, they're gonna take advantage of you. That's just the way it is. I hate to say it. You ain't gonna really find nobody.
Not to be in his business, but she's not that young. She's almost 50.
Yeah,
she's around his age.
But all right, so my bad. But you know what I'm saying?
She just got a lot of things done.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know. I just thought she was younger than him.
Yeah, she's 46 years old.
Okay, so
she's 46.
So at the end of the day, you see that happening with him, right? So you already know what time it is. He already messed around with people. He probably bagged girls that Mike trying to get that couldn't get, whatever. You know what I'm saying? With stories. My thing that be that as it may, right? I always say this. I never met Michael Jordan ever, and who knows? I might not want to meet him because sometimes they say meeting your hero sometimes could be bad, right? However, when it comes to Michael Jordan, the basketball player, greatest thing. Can't love him. I don't know how he is as an individual, as a person out in the street. I don't know. He could be a jerk. He could be a-hole. I don't know. Same thing with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, the basketball player, love him. But right now, you're showing your true characters outside of the basketball, and I'm not really feeling it. Same thing with KG. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how he is outside. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just saying it to say that because he said a lot of crazy stuff on the court.
Oh,
I'm not condoning what he said.
I'm
just saying as a player,
KG's not a nice person.
I respect
he's a piece of garbage.
Nah,
he's a piece of garbage.
I never brought up the name, but forget it. Anyway,
he disrespected me. I let it go.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But like, I disrespect my cousin Howard, so I ain't really feeling that. But at the end of the day, as a basketball player, I get it. So my point is that, is this unfortunate? You know what I'm saying, with the Scottie Pippen thing, and I don't want to keep saying that. I know we don't want to keep saying the same thing, beating a dead horse, but it's just that, it hurts us because we grew up in that era watching the Bulls. Like, we all were Bulls fans, you know what I'm saying? I rode it as long as I could, pause. And then Tyrone, he stayed with the team, you know what I'm saying? I'm Brooklyn Nets, Hollister's Nets, Melik is a New York Net fan, you know what I'm saying? I do like the Knicks. I'm all New York now. No. Everybody doing that, right? Like,
what a waste of time.
Yeah, I know. Honestly,
you need to just
the Knicks looking high. I ain't gonna hold you, but the Nets looking. But my thing is that at the end of the day,
they beat Milwaukee. They beat a Milwaukee team that wasn't even fully. But anyway, whatever.
Hey, it is what it is, man. My thing is that at the end of the day, like I said, it hurts us to see that. You know what I'm saying? And there's this sack. It's like you guys are damn near 60, bro. And you crying about something that happened like freaking almost like 30 years ago, son. It's over, son. It's like, it's really crazy. You know what I'm saying? You said what you said. People forgot about it. People have a short attention span. After the last dance, people was on Tiger King. People talking about freaking BMF now. I don't even know what that show is. People talking about that. Nobody's thinking about no freaking you calling out and saying you hurt. It's just the fact that people called you out on it. Well, because they saw the last, like, oh, Scottie, you did that? Damn. Now you hurt. It's like, yo, it happened. It's over. It's done with. You know what I'm saying? Well, hopefully, like, time heal all wounds, and hopefully it depends on their situation, how good their friendship
ain't gonna heal this wound.
Maybe we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Some people are forgiven. Who knows? Maybe Mike might say, you know what, Scottie, you know what I'm saying? I think our friendship ran its course, and maybe Scottie might feel the same way. Like, I don't want to be friends with Mike like how Charles Barkley was. But at the end of the day, we just don't know. It's just sad that for this to happen because of the fact that you feel, and it's like, you know, people be jealous, man, and they be like low key jealous for years, and then they come out, and then there's no turning back from that. So it is what it is. But I don't know if you guys want to touch on something real quick, just real quick, and then we can move on to the next time when we join up again, because I'm gonna end up ending it. So go ahead, Howard.
Just to switch gears real quick.
Yeah.
Now they go on agreement with this too. Shout outs to Jay-Z for being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last weekend.
Yes, sir.
That's all I need to say. We already know legend, living legend.
Yeah,
Yep.
congrats, man.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Definitely deserved.
Go on.
Yeah,
man.
go ahead. Yeah. Nah,
No,
because
I
you know it could be a whole new podcast. Just like Hollister said, it's just like
I know.
you know.
I just want to say, I hope Caleb Plant washes Canelo, although I know it's not gonna happen. But shout out to them. I'm a boxing guy, so
Yeah.
I'll be watching
tonight.
I'll be watching Canelo and Caleb Plant. I hope Caleb Plant washes him. You know, Caleb Plant, he kind of a half a brother, you know, because he got a black wife. Not saying that should, but in the words of Michael, because I know Michael likes to bring that up a lot, but you know, he got a black wife, so, you know. He down with the boys.
Yeah, that's what's up. I
Canelo,
appreciate that.
Canelo's a cheater.
Yeah,
like Flip Canelo Alvarez. He's a cheat. He's been tested positive for drugs before, so you know, guys like that, I don't really like them. Tyson Fury, the Deontay, man. I don't even want to get into the Deontay stuff, man.
Yeah, that's another story.
They robbed my boy again, man.
Yeah, they did, and it's like
but
a lot
yeah,
of my friends don't want to hear that.
I hope Caleb Plant went.
All right, that's
I'll just say congrats to the Braves for being the Astros. Thank you. Please, I'm so happy.
Being the Astros. I mean, don't get me wrong. It got to the point I was on the fence. I was either like, yo, maybe I want the Red Sox to win because I hated the Astros. But then I was like, you know, they beat, you know, I'm glad the Red Sox didn't win the championship, and I'm glad the Astros didn't win because they cheat us. And I hate the people say, oh, I want them to win so they can show they can win without it. Like they probably still cheating now. They probably just got some silent joint. They got something on their cat where they pressing at the top of the cat. Touching the top of the head. They're like, oh, yes, it's fastball. Like,
listen,
we don't even know.
I'm gonna say congratulations to the Atlanta Braves on winning the World Series. This is their second one in Atlanta. They won it previously in Boston when they was the Boston Braves and the Milwaukee Braves. So this is basically their fourth World Series, second since they moved to Atlanta. They did it in the same year that Hank Aaron passed away because he passed away in January. So it would have been kind of sweet for Hank Aaron to see the one last World Series, but he was watching them from above. So shout out to them. They beat the Astros. You know, I already wanted them to beat the Astros anyway because they cheaters, 1, and 2, they beat the Red Sox to go to the World Series. So I'm definitely was happy that they lost. So
and the way they
congratulations to Atlanta. And also because we've been gone for 2 months. So you know, last time we filmed was my birthday. I'm gonna shout out Candace Parker in the Chicago Sky for winning the title. She was with the LA. She was. I'm a big fan of her on TNT and stuff like that. So I've been following her. I've been following her since she was in Tennessee playing for Pat Summitt. Yeah. So you know, she went.
First woman to grace NBA.
She played with the LA Sparks all those years, and then she decided to go home. And in her very first year home, she won the WNBA title. So shout out to Candace.
And they were saying that she won, saying that she was selfish. And she's like they just made her like that. She's not that good, and she did her thing. Happy for her too. I agree with
first woman to be on the cover of NBA 2K too.
Facts. She's doing a lot of things. Chicago respect her. You know what I'm saying? Her accomplishments. And like Tyron said, we've been out for a minute. There's a lot of stuff going on. Football, basketball related. We're gonna catch up to it. I just want to say one more thing. This is not sports related, but I'm gonna say, yo, shout out to Will Smith, man. Hold your head, son. Hold your head.
Yo, man.
Jada is wilding. And I just want to say this real quick, and I don't want to get into this too much because I know people like, oh my God, what are you talking about? The state of manhood and like how men are being treated is in jeopardy. I'm just keeping it a buck. And I just want to say this real quick. Like you look at like Will Smith, like he worth $300 million. You know what I'm saying? Got with Jada. You know what I'm saying? Like try to do this. She cheated on him with the red table joint. I don't care. People don't think open marriage and you don't understand. Like, no. They just saying that to make safe face. Cheated on him with that young kid, saying that she can't really do stuff with him, saying that she don't know what love is. It's like all these different things. It's like the man got a movie coming out, and all you hear is about what Jada's saying about him, and to the point that it got me talking about, yo, man, God, I want a wife, but not a wife like Jada or some other joint, like some other
But
memes that
Mike,
came out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
The funniest meme I
you off.
saw today. Remember the scene from one of those Friday movies when Terry Crews like Tupac,
Yeah,
right? They put her face
He's
on
sitting
the
on the
body,
couch.
and when he said when Will Smith leave the house, they was like, oh, she was like
Uh,
Tupac. It's like, yo, it's like to me,
but
it's just crazy, bro.
I'll tell you this, right?
Yeah.
You see what you just said there? It kind of went over your own head. You said he got a movie coming out. Who knows that this is a promotion?
No, I had
This
that
could
same
be like
conversation.
a publicity stunt.
I had that same conversation with one of my friends that could be it. But like let's be honest here, right? That could be promotion, yeah, because nobody's gonna read. I'm pretty sure like nobody's gonna really watch King Richard like that. I'm gonna be 100. Like I like Serena Williams. I'm not into documentaries. And I'm not gonna. I didn't watch that Muhammad Ali joint he did. I don't watch a lot of documentaries. I didn't watch the Biggie movie. I didn't watch the Tupac movie. I'm not into that stuff.
It depends on the document. Like I watched the Biggie and Tupac stuff to see what they were gonna miss. Like you know when you know certain stories real well. I would never watch. I would never watch it again because it was horrible. They both were horrible. Both the Biggie and the Tupac ones were horrible. But see, the thing with the Venus and Serena one is they're still alive. They probably had input in the story. So I'm pretty sure that it's a very accurate story. So I'm going to watch that because I think because the fact that they're alive, that one will work. I think that one will work. So
I was
give it a
watching
chance.
for they black, but at the end of the day, it's like my thing is that I'm not really into that stuff. But I say all this to say, right? It hurts. It hurts his brand. Like you have to understand. Like if I'm out there and I'm supposed to have this persona being Fresh Prince and doing these movies, and then I have my wife out there saying these negative things like that, and really like running me through the ringer. People are laughing at him now. It's not to say that they're gonna do it off of support. Like, I'm gonna watch the movie because Jada's doing him dirty. Like no. And then you embolden other people. There's a hot minute. Everybody's talking about entanglements. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not helping his brand. It's actually hurting him. So I had that same argument you said, Tyrone, with one of my friends at the gym. And I was like, nah, man, this is hurting the brand. It's not really helping. But be that as it may, like you said, we'll take a look at one more movie shout out before we get ready to close. The Harder They Fall on Netflix. I watch it. It's fire. All right.
Yeah, Jay had a part in that. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I thought I saw Jay-Z in there, man.
Yeah, they got a song too.
Not him. I bet you would. And he said he like produced it. Watch that joint. That joint's fire. But yeah, I'm just glad to get back with you guys, man. I mean, we're gonna try to do this finally. Huh? What happened? Yeah.
No, I just got an alert saying Porzingis is playing tonight. You know he on my fantasy team. It's about damn time. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just glad we're able to get back to you guys, man. I know like it's been 2 months, like Tyrone said. You know, it just like I said, technical difficulties, getting time for us to get together and do this. Like Melik's busy, Hollis is busy, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? Like we just try to get it together. Like I said, life stuff happens, the good and the bad. So it's like a lot of different things, but I'm glad to get back to you guys and speak to you guys and get back to Tyrone and everybody, Menelik and Hollister. So shout out to him. Shout out to y'all for watching. Thank you guys for watching the episodes. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow the platform. Like I said, we ain't really doing this for money. We're just doing it because we like to talk with each other, like to talk with sports. But hey, it's free. Doesn't hurt to click the like, doesn't hurt to hit the subscribe button and share with your friends. And like I said, you can comment, give us topics that you would like for us to talk about. So we'll have others to talk about as well. You know what I'm saying? Like we just primarily talk about sports. Like I said before, we try to keep everything light. We don't want to talk about into the other stuff. We into other stuff. We into crypto, we into finance, we into politics, we into a lot of different things, but that stuff can get kind of a little testy. So we try to keep it like, sports related because that's easy going stuff. And not every day with the way the world is going right now, we don't want to be bombarded with all the negativity or that's all that stressful things that in the world. And that's why sports is a necessity. If you really look at history, sports is a necessity throughout the whole world. So
that's right.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless.
Yeah, we back.